Hi guys, I'm here to talk about reinforcement in the classroom. Reinforcement is basically a behavior or something that you as a teacher will do to a student or say to a student to encourage a specific behavior that you saw happen that you appreciated. There are both positive and negative reinforcements, but as a teacher, we try to stay on the positive side of reinforcements in the classroom. Um, and Safia really talks about more verbal reinforcements. Um, Reinforcements can be as simple as a smile, a pat on the back, or a specific statement, focus statement towards a student for a specific behavior. So according to Safia, there are three major features of a quality reinforcements that you can use. The first thing is that it must be precise. You want to go after the specific behavior that the students did. So when your kids are coming into the library, you can tell them, oh, guys, great job walking slowly and sitting at your assigned seats. You did a great job on that. And what you're doing is you're specifically showing them what the behavior is that you appreciate versus just saying, great job, guys. They don't know what behavior you're approving. So you want to be specific. The second feature is of how appropriate it is. Is the timing right? Are you doing it in a setting that might embarrass a child or one that maybe they won't be really paying attention to you? And he gives a great example, Sapphire, in the book, and I'll share it with you. He gives an example of telling a sixth grade athlete that his handwriting is nice in front of his friends. He's saying that like this could embarrass the child, the kids might start teasing him, and a different way that you can approach it is if you say, this is quoted, John, you're one of our best ball players around, and I see your fine motor coordination is just as good as your coordination on the field. And the student might respond better because you're kind of saying he's a good athlete as well as telling him he has great handwriting. Now, granted, from the statement, I don't think a sixth grade child would understand that you are telling him he has good handwriting, which is why I find this amusing, but you get the idea of what I mean by appropriate timing. And then the third area is scheduling. How often do you give reinforcements to students? So many of you might have heard of B.F. Skinner, famous psychologist known for his Skinner box, where he put rats into a box, and if the rats pulled on a lever, then a food pellet would come out. And so every time the rat would hit the lever, the food would come out and the rat would know it. But eventually Skinner wanted to know, would the rat still go after the pellet? So he stopped giving the rat the pellet if he hit the lever. And eventually the rat just didn't care about pushing the lever anymore because he wasn't getting any food. So then he tried different things. He would do it every third time. He would do it every 15 seconds. And then he would also randomize it. And he found that if he randomized the scheduling of a reinforcement, that the rat would be more interested and more likely to try, first of all, to appreciate it and try to get it because they don't know when it's coming, but they know that it will come eventually. And so this kind of goes to students as well. If you keep every single time a kid does something great and you say, great job, or I really appreciate whatever, the students stops having meaning towards the students. So you really want to schedule it at random times. He also talks about certain reinforcers that don't aid in student growth. So if you're just giving a positive reinforcement for a student completing a task versus a student comprehending a task, the comprehension reinforcement really has more meaning to the student and has them intrinsically wanting to do better. So an example in the library would be, giving prize to students if they read 5 MCBA books, Massachusetts Children's Book Award books. Because if you read 5, then you can go vote online for the winner. But if you ask them to write a review about each one of those books, the student and then you give them a reward or a reinforcement, that tends to increase students' interest in wanting to read more MCBA books because they got something personally out of it. So reinforcement, when used properly, can increase student motivation, but it must be precisely worded, it must be appropriate to the person and timing, and it should be randomly scheduled. So using reinforcements in the classroom is a quick, simple, easy, and cheap way to increase student motivation. Thank you.